We also are qualifying our rocket engines down here on our test stands. Down in Florida, we've got our big New Glenn rocket factory. New Glenn, of course, our orbital rocket that's coming online in 2021. We're filling this huge factory that we've taken over about a year and a half ago with big machinery to build that big rocket. And then just 8 or 9 miles as the crow flies from that factory down in Cape Canaveral is the launch complex that we're also building out. And last but not least, as we mentioned, down in Huntsville, Alabama, our newest location, we are going to be building the BE-3Us and BE-4 engines at a new state-of-the-art location. Now, just a couple of miles from there at the Marshall Space Flight Center, we're also going to be taking over Test Stand 4670, where we're going to be testing those engines that are coming off the line of the engine factory. So in case you didn't catch it, we've got a lot coming down the pike. And you know what? To be able to do it, not only do we need to grow with a lot of people, but we got to grow with the best and the brightest, which means you guys. Please check out our website. We've got various teams that need a diverse set of backgrounds, so check it out. We want to have you guys on the team. Okay, we're at T-minus 14 minutes and 20 seconds to go until launch. Let's check out New Shepard as she warms up for flight. She is, New Shepard, looking forward to her 5th flight to space and back on that same rocket. She's got a couple of scuff marks on her, but that is what a reused rocket looks like. So we are excited to have her back out again on the pad. It's a beautiful morning down here to launch some rockets. Okay, so let's talk about over the next couple of months, towards the end of this year, we are going to be flying humans on top of this rocket. But the only way that it's going to work is, of course, if we do it safely. Safety is at the core of everything that we do at Blue, including the rocket itself. One of the most important subsystems that we have on that rocket is the abort motor, or the escape motor. Now, the escape motor is meant to fire in the case that anything wrong is detected with the rocket. We want to get the capsule and whatever it's in it, payloads today, perhaps people in the future, we want to get it away from the booster and bring it back safely. Now, that system is completely autonomous, and we've tested it that way, and let me tell you, I think the successes speak for themselves. So why don't we check out some of the highlights from those 3 escape tests. Now, the first one was back in 2012, as mentioned earlier. We want to make sure that we can get the the capsule away from the booster, even on the pad, even if it hasn't lifted off yet. Complete success. Next, just a couple of years later, we did fire the escape motor at max Q during flight. Max Q, maximum dynamic pressure on the rocket, which means it's even that much more difficult to fire the escape motor away, but again, worked out perfectly. And then just a couple of months ago, we fired the escape motor up at altitude 290,000 feet, 88 kilometers up, not quite into space, but very, very high up there, and it performed perfectly. We also had the reaction control system that came in for a nice stabilization of the capsule, and you see the retro thrust system there fired nicely for a soft landing here in Texas. So safety, 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 it's at the core of what we do, and it's not only on the rocket itself, but it's inside of the capsule. We have a couple of safety features that I'd like to walk you through, so why don't we check out this capsule. The big, beautiful windows, we've talked about them a lot. Nice for gazing out up over 100 kilometers when you're up there in space, but we've built them multi-paned acrylic windows. We've tested them extensively on the ground, pressure tested them, but we've also tested them in space. The capsule that's out there on the pad has gone to space 4 times and back, and they've worked very nicely. The seats there, We built those in-house. You see that X mechanism, the scissor mechanism, meant to take out any last vertical energy, make sure if it's a bumpy ride, we'll make it softer for you. And then last but not least, that white paneling, acoustic paneling. We want to be able to dampen out any vibration. We want from a hearing standpoint that it's comfortable but also safe. So a beautiful ride that we've designed for you, aesthetically very pleasing on your way up to space, but first and foremost, we've built it with safety in mind. Okay, we're at T-minus 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go until launch. Why don't we check out New Shepard on the pad as she warms up for her 5th flight to space and back today.
It just says on MCC go. I'm just checking with you if you're ready for that change. Yeah, I don't think it's a blue box activity. It's pretty flexible, and I thought that he actually intended to ask you to do it before lunch, but
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are live here in West Texas, waiting for New Shepard's 11th mission to space in this test program. Why don't we get into the profile of today's test? It is what we call a nominal flight profile. It's what you and I are going to be flying when we go into space later this year. It means that the capsule and the booster are going to lift off together. They're going to go up to 75 kilometers, and the capsule is going to separate from the rocket, continue up over 100 kilometers. That's when you're going to get the 3 to 4 minutes of zero-G freedom, taking in those beautiful views.
Sur Booking.com, vous trouverez des maisons, des locations de voitures et même des bulles. Mais une fois sur place, de nombreuses surprises vous attendent.